Hello, friends. Welcome to another session of HR to CHRO podcast. And today we have Miss Shilpi Saxena with us. She started her career with Sahara India. Then she was a consultant to many organizations. Then she joined IISE. Then she was at Kurlon. And currently she is CHRO at Golyan Group. So, welcome, Shilpi ma'am. Thanks for giving us time.
Thank you.
So, to start with, Shilpi ma'am, why HR? Why did you decide to start your career in HR?
When I graduated or did my master's in business administration, I had not opted for HR as my major. Very typical of that era, the 90s decade, I had specialized in finance and sales and marketing because most of the jobs were considered to be more lucrative, more paying in
Correct.
sales and marketing.
Correct.
My first job actually, which lasted not more than 2 months, so I don't specifically mention it in my professional brief, was in sales and marketing. And it was a door-to-door sales. So I
Oh,
started my
okay.
career with a door-to-door sales of FMCD products,
Very nice.
kind of. So I very quickly realized that that was not my forte. But in the course, when I met people, I thought that my aim or my liking was more for people management and business management through people. So that is when I transitioned, and my major HR or my first HR career started with Sahara India. Then a big name, now an infamous name, Mr. Roy, is amongst the big bad four of the Netflix. But honestly speaking, I learned the fundamentals of human resource management over there. That human beings are the resource for growth of
Correct.
any organization,
Correct.
and that was also partly the success of driving Sahara. Things may go wrong later in the later part of the business, which it did with Sahara also, but truly, I've learned people management from the senior management of Sahara. My immediate boss, he's no more, but Paramveer Chakra winner Colonel Dhan Singh Thapa. I always consider him as my first mentor. And Mr. Roy definitely, who was very, very involved in the people department and people development.
Very nice. So, see, many of the CHROs we have been fortunate enough to interact with, Shilpi ma'am. Many of them, they are not from pure HR. Some of them, like you, they started their career in sales. Some of them from the business side. Some of them from the operations. And I don't know. See, very few people. Like I'll come to it again. That only 0.5% people reach the level of CXO, but many of them, or in your case, for example, experience of a different department, door-to-door sales is so hardcore a learning experience, experience, if I
Yes,
can say
it
that,
is.
because I am also from the sales background. So, does it help in becoming more empathetic to an HR professional to know about the hardships which other departments face? And then does it pave their way to a CHRO, the journey easier? Does it make it easier, that journey?
Fully agree with you.
Okay.
So it does build a very strong fundamental in empathy. When I was part of this organization where I did door-to-door sales, the HR was non-existent. If
Hmm.
we had some issues, there had to be a go-to person or a go-to department. The boss was very remote because I belong to Lucknow and the head office was in Delhi. So for day-to-day issues, and then the sales head is a very busy person.
Correct.
So I was looking for somebody to guide me, to help me what problems I was facing. And Women in Direct Sales channel way back in 1991, 92 was not something that was heard of.
Correct.
But the HR over there was limited to, okay, we have sent you your appointment letter. Now you are on your own. The word empathy, I had not heard about it in my first job. I think that is what set me thinking deeply that if business has to profit, if business had to progress, then what is the building block of that progress? What is the building block of the profit? And that is people of the organization. And hence, a thoughtful gesture or an action to move to the human resource management side. In my era, way back in 1992, 93, it was called personnel department. And HR was just catching on, human resource department. So that is how there was a role which had come out as a vacancy. And we had newspaper vacancies every Wednesday, Times of India those days.
Correct.
So for the HR department, for the personnel department of Sahara, I applied, gave an interview where I think I very distinctly remember I said that empathy and profit should go together.
Very nice.
And people should be stitched to the business goals. Otherwise, your business is not going to sustain for a very long time. I think that concept that time bought me the job.
Very nice.
But I was very fortunate to learn directly from one of the biggest people managers who was that time the chairman of Sahara India.
Very nice. Very nice. So people have to be stitched to the business goals. So
Yes.
see, I started my career in late 90s, 97. So that time, HR was looked at in a very different way, the support function.
As a
Right?
supported, not respected. Let's be open and honest about it, Amitji.
But cut to today. So cut to today and CHRO, for example, CHROs and people in HR generally, they have that business outlook. Many of them, I will not say most of them or all of them, but many of them they have this business outlook, and they have a seat at the table, and they are considered as a strategic partner. So how important is it to have that business outlook, or that propensity to know more about business? How important is that, not only for HR person but for everyone, people in any department?
So, for every person in the department, it is very important to know your business and the drivers of the business and the goals of the business. But I would say for HR department, it comes at the top.
Okay.
Because if you do not know your business, then you do not know what kind of people are needed to run that business.
Okay.
So I will use some terminology which may sound old-fashioned these days, but I have strongly believed when I go back to my thinking board or my drawing board. So I use couple of terminologies which I was taught. So in our era, Amitji, my era when I say is people who graduated in 90s. Man, money, machine, material. We were taught the 4 M's, that for a business to succeed, you need to take care and know your people, man, money, your sources of finance, your cost of finance, how finance is being utilized, machinery, because that was primarily a manufacturing driven
Correct.
era, and
Material.
so with material, where you're going to get your product, because the efficiencies also came from a degree of how cost rationalization at the raw material level could be done, because
Correct.
that was the era of, as I said, manufacturing dominance.
Correct.
And that was my early phase when I started my career. Over a period of time, I added 2 more M's to it: market and methodology. What market you are serving, you are sitting in, your business is existing in, and then what is the methodology, what we call today as processes, to run your organization. And in the third decade of my career, I come to what is the technology.
Very nice.
What modern technology is being used to run the businesses. The earlier 4 has not gone obsolete, neither has the next 2. But the only thing is, it gets added. And how well you can add, or what we call in HR, how well you can stitch all these components which are needed to run the business, is what a CHRO needs to do. First, visualize, correct your vision, stitch it for a visible outcome.
Very nice. So this is one secret of success of CHRs, to visualize, correct the vision, and then stitch it together. See, again,
Yes.
market and methodology. So this is where I think the shift started from pure manufacturing, because manufacturing if you control, I mean, setting up a manufacturing unit that time wasn't very
Yeah.
easy. Bank
Yeah.
loans were not available, funds were not available. So it's only
The
people who
economy was a closed economy.
closed
Yeah.
economy. So people who had those connections, who could control the external environment to a certain extent,
Yeah.
government and PSUs and all the other environments. So maybe customer wasn't that much important because it was closed economy. Whatever you would produce, it will get sold
Yeah.
to slowly market and processes and technology, and which is how the business side came up.
Mm.
And in today's scenario, how can an HR person who joins HR fraternity or who joins HR department with vision of using HR processes or HR skills, how can he or she learn more about business to do better in his or her job?
I think it is very, very important for every person. I'll start from, let's say, when we hire fresh from colleges or people who take HR as their first job, they should first learn about the basics of HR.
Okay.
And that serves you good for just 1 year till you are, in the bottommost level. But if you have to really gear yourself up, even to proceed to a mid level or just below the mid level, business knowledge is something that you need to have. Because when you are at an individual contributor level, you need to know your function. Your functional skill set should be good. But as soon as you come into a role which requires interaction with other people, from lower to mid level managers, you need to know about business. If you don't know about business, you will not be able to go higher up in your career. So, knowing of business, what makes the business, what drives the business, and what negatively impacts the business is what every HR should know from, I would say, 2 years hence onwards.
So how should they? Should they spend time with the business? Should they go out on sales calls? How should they learn it?
So, Amici, we hire at various levels. I will restrict my talk today to the HR professionals hiring. I have always believed that you cannot do HR and you cannot understand the policies or the whatever you have made in HR, the practices of HR, if you have not experienced what it means to be an average non-HR department employee.
Okay.
Coming to sales,
Okay.
that is why wherever I have hired from the campus, the first thing that I do is I tell before you sit in HR, you need to go and sit with the business.
Okay.
I will not be taking you in HR for the first at least 2 months. So normally we run a management trainee practice, which goes earlier. It used to be 1 year, but now because of environmental changes, we have shortened it to 6 months program. But in that 6 months program also, wherever I have worked, the first ask from the HR fresh employee is go sit with accounts, what we call job rotation, sit with finance, sit with marketing, brand com, go with salespeople. Because in most of the organizations, whether it is a product company, B2B, or B2C company, sales is the one of the biggest, let's say, workforce in terms of numbers. So if you do not know how a person feet on street has traveled by bus from location X to location Y, how can you judge whether the travel allowance or the daily allowance being given to him is overpaid, underpaid, or rightly paid?
Correct.
So HR person has to first put herself or himself out with a business. And Amiji, this I learned because in my own orientation program, which lasted 1 year, Sarah had at that time more than 16,000 branches in every district also. And I was put in 3 different geographies, sitting, going out, doing sales
Very
to
nice.
understand what is the challenge faced by the people at the branch, or people who go out, whom we called as field workers.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, I would have been, sitting in an AC environment in the boardroom and making policies.
Correct.
But that gave me a very realistic view, and I've tried to drill it down to every new hire that I have done in the field of HR.
Very nice. See, the question which comes to my mind is, Shilpi ma'am, that if the company, see, every CHRO may not be as progressive. Some of the companies may not even have a CHRO. There might
Yeah,
be some other designations.
yeah.
So where the fresh joinees are not provided by this facility, and they are immediately asked to, start going doing payroll or start doing hiring or start calling up candidates, whatever. They don't get. They are not fortunate enough to experience this. How should they then go about it?
I think after class 12th, Mr. Garg, everybody stops teaching us. We attend the classrooms, right? We do, but the learning happens with self-interest.
Correct.
So, if you really need to be successful, agreed that today, in today's era, you are expected to bring in a certain work turnover right from day one or day two.
Correct.
But nobody stops you. You're working for 8 hours, say 10 hours, but the remaining of the 12 hours are with you. If you really truly want to develop yourself, everything is in mobile these days.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is in bite-sized learnings. You can definitely go up there. There are so many agencies, so
Mm-hmm.
many partners,
Mm-hmm.
paid or unpaid or free, where if
Mm-hmm.
you really have an intent to learn, you can
Mm-hmm.
make them your L&D partners. You
Mm-hmm.
can go tell them, okay, I'm ready to invest in myself, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested in learning these things.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, many of these learning partners
Mm-hmm.
can help. Even
Nice.
if the organization is not paying, please spend on yourself, invest
Very
in
nice.
yourself.
Very nice. Very powerful.
Yeah.
So, see, after 2 years, so let's say 2 years hence, they start investing in themselves and they start learning about business. What else? Do they need to specialize in one of the HR fields, let's say compensation and benefits, payroll, hiring, or L&D, or they should be jack of all trades? How should they plan? How should a young HR professional plan his or her career?
So, when we enter, we cannot choose.
Correct.
We work by what is given to me.
Correct.
Whatever is assigned to a young HR professional, he or she has to do that. It
Correct.
is only when you have shown some degree of excellence in the
Mm-hmm.
existing work that you
Mm-hmm.
can go up to your, say, manager or a general manager HR and say that, can I move to CNB? Can
Mm-hmm.
I move to my interest lies in employee engagement? Can I do more of L&D? Can I get deeper insights?
Mm-hmm.
And till date, I am yet to experience a failure of a performing employee when
Mm-hmm.
the employee goes for an ask into a diverse but learning field.
Mm-hmm.
So I have had my team members who were excellent L&D people, but they said that I want to learn CNB also, or I want to specialize in PMS. Can you
Mm-hmm.
help me? So we created a broader base in the department because I didn't want to lose that employee. The team member was really good in whatever the work was assigned. So I, in fact, encouraged broad-based skill program within the HRT
Mm-hmm.
everywhere that I have worked. So if you are getting that opportunity, you have to be very clear that whatever work is assigned to you, first you have to be on the top of that work. You have to excel before making a demand. And then when you make a demand, there is nobody on this earth, especially your reporting manager or your skip manager, who's going to refuse. Because as much as the employee wants to succeed, even the manager or the skip manager wants to succeed and wants the function to succeed
Correct.
and will definitely enable the person in wider learning.
So this is very powerful. So they have to be on the top of what they are doing, what they are given for the
First, you
first.
have to be at the top of whatever work is assigned to you.
Only then you can demand.
Only then you can demand.
So this is a very powerful lesson to all the young listeners who would be watching this podcast. See, also, but my question is, what should the so let's say for the first 5 years, 10 years, not 10 years, first 5 6 years, 7 8 years, an HR person should move from one department to another, or maybe they should maybe they should go to two or three departments and then try to specialize in one of the departments and become a specialist, or what would be a better strategy?
After say between 2 to 5 years, you need to gain a specialization in one particular aspect of HR,
Okay.
maybe OD, maybe PMS, maybe CNB. So you have to master at least one or
Okay.
two of the core functions or sub-functions of HR, as we call it. L&D branches out separately after a while. Once you have done that, there has to be a broadening of skills as you climb up also. Otherwise, what will happen is you will become, say, the GM L&D, or you will become the GM PMS, but you don't rise to a CXO level.
I understand.
So it is first like if you get a chance, start from general, go to a specialized field, and then come back to strategic general with business, with business inclusion.
Can you share some more thoughts on strategic journal with business inclusion?
So as I said, you don't rise to middle level manager if you don't understand business.
Correct.
And you don't break the mid level barrier if you don't understand strategy and its inclusion in business.
Okay.
So, and when I say strategy is not one thing. Strategy is about all the M's that I told you in the beginning of the podcast and stitching it.
Very nice.
So that is what it takes to, I think, go from a GMHR to a CHRO.
So again, investing in yourself and having mentors, like we talked about. You said investing in yourself is very important.
Yes.
Plus, having a mentor is also very important. So
Very important.
plus the desire to excel, having that vision, and investing in yourself and having a mentor. All this is required to be able to
Yes.
grow and reach a CHRO level.
Absolutely.
Could you share some examples of your mentorship and how you invested in yourself apart from what the organization was trying to make you grow? So first, could we have some thoughts on mentors?
Yeah. So as I said, I give the credit to my first mentor, Colonel Dhan Singh Thapa. He was from military background. He instilled a sense of discipline. Discipline is the first foundation stone for becoming a better personality. And he said that if you can't discipline yourself, then you can forget about being successful. So I think he instilled in his typical military style. We were a batch of 4 management trainees, me being the only female, but the norms were same for all.
Correct.
And I think that has carried me over here. I still am a very disciplined person. And discipline was not related just to tie. He used to say discipline of thoughts, discipline of speech, where you are speaking, what you are speaking, at what time you are speaking is very important. And that sensibility should be there with every HR person. And then over the journey, I met many good people on my way, people who did a kind of knowledge transfer to me. I learned below them. But then I was introduced to somebody. He was 80 when I was introduced to him. And I consider him my mentor. He may differ otherwise. He introduced me to a business concept.
Yes, ma'am.
But I would credit one of my mentors who introduced me to theory of constraint, TOC.
Correct.
And TOC application in every function across the business.
Correct.
So I still remember we were having this leadership meeting in which we were exploring a breakthrough business concept. And he started asking us, what does business mean to you? What does business mean to you? So typical of the sales head, typical of the marketing head, typical of the CFO. So they were all telling market, revenue, numbers, etc. And when it came to me, I said profit.
Very nice.
And he just stared at me. And he said, okay, but you are the CHRO. I said, yes. And I was confused because I didn't know whether it was the right answer or the wrong answer. And then he said, why not compassion? Why not employee policies, etc.? I said, sir, but because it's the profit which keeps the business running.
Correct.
And that is the sacrosanct duty of every person
Employee.
working in the
Correct.
organization.
Correct.
So he said, I will accept you in my group because you are one CHRO who has her eyes on profit and not limited to people, wellness, mental health, etc. Those are critical elements of business.
Correct.
But I think that is the strategic or a business outlook that a CHRO needed. I didn't understand it at that point of time, to be very honest, but I understood it very well in the next 2 or 3 months that we all gained insights into TOC.
Very nice. Very nice. So I find this statement very powerful, Shilpi ma'am. Discipline of thoughts.
Yeah.
See, at this age, I've been using so many things, meditation, chanting, and still I find it so difficult to have discipline of thoughts. And you are saying that this is one of the secrets of
Yes.
success.
Yes, it is.
So how can
If
one
our
do
head
that?
is clear, if our thoughts are clear, we work better, Amit.
How should one go about it to have this discipline?
To each to their own, I would say. Some people find um, music as a go-to thing. Some people find something else. Personally, to me, I would speak for myself. A passion to do the job that I love doing
Very nice.
is what makes a difference for me.
Very nice. So, see, we have talked about having mentors, we have talked about investing in oneself, we'll come
Yeah.
back to it. We have talked about uh, excellence, showing your excellence in the first few
Yes.
years and then broadening your skills. And we have talked about the secrets of success, which are discipline in everything, thoughts, words, and deed, and also passion.
Yes.
Passion to do what you love doing. What
Yes.
else are the secrets of success, ma'am, which have worked in your life apart from these?
There is no alternative to hard work,
Very nice.
honestly speaking. People talk about smart work, which is equally necessary, but there is no alternative to hard
Correct.
work.
Correct.
And we can make it out very clearly. We appreciate smart work, but we also appreciate hard work.
Correct.
Once, if a person has a tendency to do hard work, the person can become very smart and focus on smart working. And continuous learning. Amijit, that's been my life journey, my career journey.
Mm-hmm.
I have never stopped learning, even at this age, even after this experience. The moment AI hit the Indian scenario, I enrolled myself in a course of AI 6 months back
Very nice.
and obtained the certification. Because if I do not continuously learn, I become obsolete. I
Correct.
go out of sync with my ecosystem.
Correct.
So I think this learning tendency should be there. One more thing which has helped me and which I very strongly advise to the people who are interested in taking some kind of guidance or mentoring from me. There are a couple of people who I mentor in the HR fraternity, is the ability to take risk. You need to take the ability. You need to have the ability to take risk. Failures can be there. Risk
Mhm.
is again a two-edged prong. There can be success, there can be failure. But the fear of failure should not stop you from progressing yourself or doing something which excites you. I was in a very cushioned job in India when I was working for Kurlon, which was part of the Manipal group. I could have retired from there. My family was settled in Bangalore. And then 3 years back, I thought, no, I should push myself. And I came to Nepal. So Golyan Group is the second largest business house of Nepal. And like everybody was, are you okay? You're going to another country? But why? Even my then current employer. So he said, look, I know, I will let you go. But I want to understand, Shilpi, have you thought it over very well? And I said, yes, I've thought it over very well. So he says, it's a different culture. Yes, sir, but when I came to Bangalore, it was a different culture.
Correct.
So you need to take risk. I have seen failures in life, but I have also seen successes in life.
Very
But
nice.
I think that risk taking ability has to be there.
Very nice, very powerful, Shilpi ma'am. See, in my workshops, we work on mind programming techniques,
Yeah.
and we specialize in helping participants uncover the blockages that they have, and then
Yes.
train them on mind techniques on how to remove those blockages or
Yeah.
unlearn those blockages. So
Yeah.
the biggest blockage is fear of failure.
Yes.
Why don't I take more responsibility? Because what if I fail?
Yes.
And I won't shine in my job unless I take more responsibilities. But the fear of failure, it's
Hmm.
not laziness or it's not anything else. It's the fear of failure which you very rightly pointed out. See, ma'am,
Hmm.
one very important thing which I want to talk about is, see, like when I started talking about my workshop, so one is fear of failure, self-belief that we help
Yes.
participants inculcate. Second is we make them more productive. Productive
Yeah.
as in most of the participants nowadays they would waste 1 hour to even 2-3 hours at night on Instagram, for example,
Yes.
or taking coffee breaks, cigarette breaks, and as a result, they are always in a rush. They don't wake
Yes.
up early, they don't have time to exercise, meditate, they don't have time to plan their day, and they are just, running like a 100-kilometer car without any stop.
Hmm.
Either that car is working on work or it's wastage on Instagram, whatever.
Yeah.
Now, so it's very easy for us to actually make them become more productive. But I'm only talking about men. When I talk to girls, when I talk to women, they already are so productive. They hardly
Hmm.
waste any time. They'll wake up early in the morning, cook, etc., food, etc., and then they'll go and then they'll traffic and all. They'll come back, then they'll teach their kids, and then again they'll look after food. So
Hmm.
very humbly, I tell them, ma'am, please try to take out half an hour in a week, if you can,
Hmm.
because they don't waste any time.
Hmm.
And so for a girl to reach the CXO level is even tougher than for a man. And when you started out in 90s, closed
Yeah.
economy, girls
Yeah.
were not there.
No.
There were hardly any girls most of the departments. So some challenges that you have faced during the journey, and what did you learn? How did you come over those
Yeah.
challenges, Shilpi ma'am?
So I was very lucky to have been brought up in a household where there was a lot of gender equality. My brother and I were treated the same,
Very
both
nice.
ways, positive also and negative also. So my mother spared no rod if she was like in her mood. If my brother was getting a whack, even I was getting a whack. But when I entered the workforce, as I said, probably I have been very fortunate to have worked with very good people. All my bosses were males. I've never worked under a female boss till date. My reporting manager has never been a female. But my all my male reporting managers have been extremely supportive. Um, whether it was accommodating some of the personal needs, because I was unmarried when I entered the workforce, and then I have grown in the last 33 years. I had two kids, I was managing family, everything included. And there were no specialized HR intervention drives of diversity, inclusivity, or getting women back. So we had to
Correct.
keep on working all through whatever it was. But 1 hour of reading, even if I went to bed at 12 in the night,
Mm-hmm.
was instilled by way of discipline of action.
Mm-hmm.
That if I have to read, rather than reading a filmy magazine or otherwise, I would read a business book
Very
to
nice.
upgrade my knowledge. And I think that habit from book, it has gone to, say, mobile learning, maybe a YouTube, maybe a TED Talk, but it has carried over the last 3 decades that I've been into the workforce. You very rightly pointed out the youngsters these days are more interested in social media. Nothing against it. Social media, again, is a very powerful medium. But the thing is, whether you are using it just for scrolling or getting only seeing the influencers enabling their revenue by having more influencers, or whether you are actually taking something, learning something from the social media will make a difference.
Correct.
So, for the women out there who are in their now 20s or even 30s and into the workforce, you are very fortunate to have come to the workforce in an era which has a very hugely supportive ecosystem,
Correct.
be it family or be it the external ecosystem. From the days when I entered the workforce to today, it's a very, very positive environment for women. So every lady also who says that I'm struggling with this, that, then I would say that you need to optimize your time better. Though you are great in balancing work-life balance, you are great in optimizing, managing career with family, etc. But still, if you are saying that half an hour for yourself for learning purpose, I think it is way too less, Amitji. Way too less. Girls need to be focused. Otherwise, you can't aspire to compete with them. Then don't say there is gender equality, I should be treated equal.
Correct.
So you need to invest more in yourself. How you do it is your skill capability. And that you need to, whether you need to ask for more help from your spouse, like in my case, I did, and he extremely privileged to have an extremely supportive spouse. Then he understood that my wife has a passion to excel in what she does, and he supported me wholeheartedly.
Very
So
nice.
you ask your in-laws, your parents, develop your support system, but never stop short of investing time for yourself to
Very
grow
nice.
professionally.
Very nice. Some more challenging incidents, not because of the gender issue or general challenges that you faced, like a corporate employee, and then
Mindset.
okay,
Mindset of the male reporting managers, not specific to HR, across the function. Because when we hire, so the first thing is, ma'am, don't give somebody who's going to pick up her purse at 6 o'clock and then say, I have a sick child. Very typical. And I'm being honest to the
okay,
core.
okay,
And then I say that, sir, how will you react if the man picks up his wallet and walks away with his motorbike keys? So let us not focus on time. Let us focus on how we can take performance or productivity out of a said employee.
correct,
But it is a mindset. And see, I've not worked in multinational companies. And I think that's my biggest advantage.
correct,
I have worked in promoter managed companies. And from there, I have learned the strength of transformation of organizations. And one very big component of bringing about a change at the organization level in a promoter and organization is your ability to convince and influence.
very nice,
So the way that I grew up was convincing my male peers, no, we'll hire females. Please take performance out of her. But I still feel in many areas, mindset of maybe the business owner or the CEO or your fellow CXO level, there are biases
correct,
related to gender,
correct,
many times related to gender. But the only way to, I think, to counter it is by showing your command and presence, your executive presence, and your excellence at work.
very nice. Very nice. So powerful, Shilpi ma'am. So, ability to convince and influence. How does one acquire this ability? You mentioned that you have to have the command and the executive presence and excellence in whatever you do. So, a more detailed version of this.
So, as I said, HR cannot be limited to only HR policies, HR practices, what any other company is doing, etc., etc. Maybe I don't know whether I will sound right or I will not sound so right. But the thing is that HR becomes a jack of many trades because you do hiring as your core, one of the first talent
Correct.
acquisition. So, but when you hire from jack of all trades, you have to become a master of quite a few. I'm not an engineer, but I'm hiring engineers.
Correct.
So when I am doing the first or the second or sitting even in a, let's say, group interview along with the engineering head, I need to be able to ask smart questions. My knowledge has to be at that level.
Correct.
If I am not having that required knowledge, how would I know that how X differs from Y? So that is why my thrust on continuous learning.
Correct.
And that goes for everybody in HR. How you can influence is when you can show the other person that, look, I can help you bridge your gap areas. I can help you perform better. We are very selfish, Amitji, all of us, everybody out there in the workforce. We all want to excel. Why will I take, let's say, the conviction from other person is only when I feel that it is of
My use.
benefit to me.
Correct.
So if you can show continuously that you can be of benefit to another CXO level person or a function, that is when you have an executive presence and you can convince them for what you are saying. Till you demonstrate, nobody goes, I mean, your face is not the way to influence or make any difference to anybody else. It's only
Very
your
powerful.
actions and your
Very
work.
powerful. Very powerful, Shilpi ma'am. See, most of the jobs in India are anyway in companies which are promoter driven.
Yeah.
MNCs are there, but the number of jobs are very limited, especially when we go
Yes.
to tier two, tier three towns. And
Absolutely.
this ability to influence and convince is so, so very powerful. And like you're rightly saying, that it's only possible with your hard work and smart work and
Yes.
discipline and all those secrets of success. And once you are able to do that, once you are able to transform promoter driven organizations, then it becomes so easy for maybe excelling in the other field. So very powerful insight, Shilpi ma'am. And there are so many topics I want to cover. So we have talked about discipline, broadening. We have talked about continuous learning, hard work, passion. So what do you think
Ability
is
to take risk,
ability to take risks? Yes,
not
fear of
have
failure,
fear of failure at all.
not a fear of failure. So if you have to pick out one of them, which one will you pick out? All these secrets of success.
I would pick two.
Okay.
See, you to make a dish, you need at least two ingredients. Okay. So, not having fear of failure,
Mhm.
which will automatically, in the back end, have continuous learning
Okay.
and discipline. Because as I said, discipline is of thoughts, actions, etc. Everything.
Mhm.
Those two is something that I would really bank upon.
Okay.
Yeah, because see, many times, as you rightly said, because you are doing these workshops, Amitji, my internal fear that I may fail. How will I look if I fail? What are somebody else going to say? These are our biggest constraints
And
in
most of
our
the times I
mindset.
found they are subliminal. People are not even
And
aware.
yes, it's a very, very subliminal. So it is very necessary for you to convince yourself. Doesn't matter, even if I fail, I would have gained something by way of learning in the end. So discipline and the confidence or not having the fear of failure is something which I would really pick.
Very nice. See, looking at what we have discussed, so mindset. Now, in today's scenario, the resilience is slightly on the lower side.
Very
So people
much.
say that my boss is not good. Okay, I'll quit. Or
Yeah.
I need work-life balance. I'll quit. Or
Yeah.
I have this problem. I'll quit. I have that problem. I'll quit. So
I'll take a sabbatical.
I'll take a sabbatical.
Mm.
And especially the mindset of the people around me. People are negative, and you hear these kind of words a lot nowadays, toxic, and so.
Yes.
But this is society, and inevitably, somewhere you will find some people.
Yeah.
So, and they who are having that kind of a mindset. Then, what is the way out? How should I mean? I want to hear from you on how should they go about it. The youngsters, especially in these kind of situations.
See, I think one thing that India has lost, in the last 15, 18 odd years is we have stopped inculcating in our youngsters a habit of introspection.
Okay.
In my generation, we were taught introspection. Before pointing finger outside, look within you.
Correct.
Which, as I said, there are no rights and wrongs. But today, the ecosystem is more that if something has gone wrong, first point the finger, it's a toxic environment, I have a bad reporting manager, the things are not right, they are this, they are that. Partly true, partly untrue. There is no thing called perfect world, and there is nothing called a perfect organization. It is your ability how to deal with the not so perfect organization, have that resilience, as you said, as tenacity, to and a determination, a grit that I'm part of this change that is going to set the things right. There are low moments. Even at our age, I'm sure with you, with me, we have our low days, we have our off moments. But then, okay, I'll sleep over it. Tomorrow is going to be a new day. I'm going to come back with more enthusiasm to set things what are not right. But at the same time, have the humility uh, and the courage to accept where you have gone wrong. It's not always the other person who has gone wrong. And if things are continuously going wrong, take a pause and reset yourself that how it can be corrected. So all this is part of reflection and introspection, Amitji, which I think everybody who is taking on a mentor, or if I am mentoring somebody, it is my moral duty to put this perspective to my mentees. And even as parents, to our, say, children or the younger generation that we bring up, we need to teach them this. India had a lot of resilience and introspection, but as you very rightly pointed out, in the last 12 to 20, 18 odd years, it's becoming very low. But because we never heard about coaching mentoring 20 years back, but
Correct.
today we are having mentoring interventions, we are having coaching interventions. It should be systematically brought as part of that intervention. So today we run mentoring exercises for mid-level, we run coaching for executive level people. It should all be part. See, because CXO lifespan has also gone down from 50 plus to 40 plus.
Correct.
So these interventions, which we naturally inherited, need to be now taught.
Very powerful. So, how should one introspect? Should it be done on a daily basis? Should it be when you are going out on a walk, or when you are doing yoga, or should one set out time in a week to just think?
So as I said, many things are everybody to their own.
Mm-hmm.
But I think one of the best way to do it, spend 15 minutes a day with yourself.
Very nice.
Even if you are in the washroom, rather than reading newspaper, you think, what went right? What could have been better? What went wrong? How can it be avoided? When you start with this kind of 4 questions, many things automatically start falling in place. And actually, I'm one of those people who likes to go half an hour early to the office,
Very nice.
because there I think, okay, what did I do good? What did I not do so good? What could I do to make a thing better? And that helps me plan myself and plan my day better, because at my level, when the day starts and I have an open door policy, there is somebody or the other who keeps coming in. So I have to keep myself very organized if I have to maintain my human touch, my team touch, and my business touch with equal importance.
Very powerful. Human touch, team touch, and business touch.
Yeah.
Let's see. One of the factors which I've noticed in top achievers, or people who reach the top, so as to say, or who excel at any level, is that they have a vision, they have a goal, and everybody faces problems. But people who have a vision, who have a goal, they are not too much bothered about the noise because they are focused on that goal.
Yeah.
So, how should a young HR professional, or any professional for that matter, how should they do the goal setting? Should they take mentor's help, or even if they don't have a mentor, how can they, use this as a tool to self motivate?
So I would say goal setting is a first step, because
Okay.
if you have set goals for yourself, then you decide on the modalities, that do I need
Okay.
a mentor? Do I need to do additional certifications? What
Mm-hmm.
do I need to invest in myself? So goal setting is very, very important, the basic fundamental.
Mm-hmm.
As part of the mentoring coaching exercise, we also, I'm sure you also must be using, we use something called Wheel of Life, because those are the years which are going to build yourself professionally, and especially for women, those are also the years where you need to build your family. So as a intervention, which I have seen many female HR professionals, it has helped them, is drawing a wheel of life, where we balance their personal and professional time, and time and mind consumption pattern. And we do it as part of mentoring exercise.
Very
But the
nice.
same can be done for men also, because today it is more of, the family is run by two people, the husband and the wife. So the kids have to be brought up with equal, let's say, duty. It's a duty of the father also to be involved into the child rearing.
Very
See,
nice.
I'll tell you, organization successes are very deep rooted, successes or failures, into our family patterns, Amitji.
Okay.
If we correct the basic foundation, what we call the nano cell,
Mm-hmm.
then largely things will move in a better direction.
Okay, very nice. So, see, for a young, let's say we are talking about 5 year goals. So,
Yeah.
for a young professional, what should be the 5 year goal? Then, after 5 years, what should be the next goal? And then, could you describe two or three goals which ideally a person should be having?
So I think in the first 5 years, HR professional, or for that matter, any professional, should focus on getting the maximum knowledge about function, every aspect, be it accounts, be it finance, be it legal, be it HR, any function in the organization. First, know your function. And I truly believe that after the first 5 years, which are called the formative years in the professional development journey, you should take a psychometric test.
Okay.
Psychometric test gives you an insight of how people perceive you.
Mm-hmm.
Like I very often say, I might think that I'm a great person. That's my self belief. But I should be perceived as a great person too.
Correct.
If the people around me do not perceive me as a great person, how much ever I believe in myself, it can be a kind of false confidence also.
Correct.
So, what psychometric assessments help us is knowing ourselves. If you take Hogan, it gives you your strengths also, it gives you your not so great areas also. After that, you do maybe a debrief with either a specialist or somebody who you can take as a mentor from the field or outside your field, whoever is in a position to influence you, correct you, not be scared, not be speaking to you because you may like it, or may not be speaking because you would dislike it. Not that person. Mentor, a true mentor will never stop short of even criticizing. And that kind of mentor you should take, who at every point of time will support you from the behind, but upfront will also tell you that you need to add this to you, whether you like it or you dislike it, whether you take that advice or you do not take that advice, but you need to hear it. So I believe the next 5 years, 5 to 10 years, you should be with a mentor. Prefer, if it can be your somebody from your field, great, because they will not only develop you as a person, but they'll also develop you as a professional with functional expertise. And past the decade, 10 to 15 years, It is learn business, network, learn business.
Very nice. So, how to get mentors?
There are many partners who have professional coaches or mentors in their board. You can go to such partners, look for them. Then there are many forums where they patch you on to people who are interested in mentoring. Like I do mentoring for HR professionals, but then I cannot take on 100. So I take only 2 or 3 people at a time, but for a period of not less than 18 months. Because mentoring is a long term process. I need to be involved with the person.
Correct.
It is not 2 days job, 2 hours lecture, and it is done. You have to have the x-ray of the person done inside out, even the darker aspects, so that you can guide the person. Sometimes the what we say the darker aspects of personality can be utilized as a strength
Correct.
for some particular aspect of business. So I don't think so that if you really look, it will be difficult to find such partners or mentors.
Very nice. Very nice. And what about networking? So, networking again, generally, I find that they do not find time or they are not inclined to do networking, which is very powerful. So, some thoughts on that, Shilpi ma'am.
The first thing for HR person is to do internal customer networking.
Mm-hmm.
People, other teams, increase your sphere of influence. So if you are growing with the same organization, there will be key people who are also growing with the same organization. So your influence will be better with them. But otherwise, you very rightly said, people think, oh, networking, why should I waste my 2 hours in a day talking to people, meeting people? But then again, that's part of self-learning, Amitji.
Correct.
The more people you meet, the more diversity of knowledge, diversity of views you come across. When you talk to them, you get a different perspective.
Correct.
Always make your own decision, your own judgment. But your 2 ears should be hearing lot many things, and then you
Correct.
filter out noise.
Correct. Very powerful. So, we have been talking for more than an hour, Shilpi ma'am.
Yeah, I was seeing that.
We can continue, but we have to, stay in the time limit. So
Absolutely.
thanks for giving us time and sharing so many insights. I'm sure
And
it
thank
will
you so
be
much for asking, Amitji, because let me compliment you. You're doing a great job. Because as you rightly said, uh, there are people who are very confused out there. So possibly we have seen so many ups and downs,
correct.
in the journey of last 3 decades, from paper and pen to AI.
Correct.
Our ability to probably cope up is more, and maybe we can advise. And one thing that definitely is needed is such kind of platforms where people can go and hear others
Correct.
and learn and probably connect. Probably, they come to Kushalta seeking that, oh, I need coaching. Can you please refer me coaches? Can you refer me mentors? So it is needed today. It is very, very much needed today.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Shilpi ma'am. Thanks for the kind words.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Amit. Have a great day, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.